This is True Story, Season 3.
I'm ready. So the day, I'm just going to begin by saying this. The day I was caught was probably a Tuesday, a bit rainy, around
1993.
6 p.m. on a Tuesday. And I'm a little bit infamous for being caught by my mother for every single stupid thing I've ever done. Whether it's phone calls, back in the day it wasn't text messages, so it was like the two-way pager, the email, the chat on AOL or whatever. I always got caught for everything. And I had just transferred from high schools. I used to attend Sunset Senior High School in Miami, and I hated it because all my friends attended Kinley and Senior High School. So at that point I'm thinking, well, my friends go here, you know, everyone I dance with, it's like the cool place to be. So I'm gonna go to this high school and it's gonna make it happen. I hated where I was going before and nobody that I knew attended there. So I transferred to this high school, fresh off the block, literally. I go to the school and I get suspended. You get suspended for skipping school. So I transferred to this high school and I decided, unknowingly, to start writing a journal. So I started writing this journal about like everything that I documented throughout the summer. And in that summer, it was my sophomore year in high school. So I write down everything in intricate details about all my sexual experiences. So I go from A to Z. I did this, I did that, I hooked up with this guy, I made out with that guy, I did X, Y, and Z. So at that point I'm thinking nothing about it. I'm maybe one day, like, being the crazy writer that I am, I'm gonna publish this book, it's gonna like be my breakthrough, I'm gonna be like a Nobel Prize writer, it's gonna be crazy. So I break it down. Luckily nothing extravagant past third base was into play. So I write this all down, close the book. I wrote about like, I don't know, maybe like 60, 70 pages deep. My 2-day suspension ended. I luckily got out of it sooner enough because I bribed the coach out of it. I didn't do anything crazy though. Mind you, sexual experiences, but I didn't do anything crazy to the coach. So I get out of this thing. I write it down. I put it under my bed thinking like nothing's going to go about it. Like my mom was never that crazy into investigating anything I did because I was always a good student. I got suspended, but I somewhat, in some way, like ended up not letting her know about this, and she didn't know that I was suspended. So hiding this under my bed, I thought that it was a way to hide it. And probably, I would say like, as an estimate, maybe like a week later, I get to my house, I go to like my first frat party. Mind you, this is 10th grade, so I lived my life way before like anyone in my age group did. So it's like 10th grade year. I attended an FIU party, mind you. It's like one of the, I think it was like a Pikes, a Gap, one of those like stupid fraternities in Miami that were like big at the time. So I attend one of their parties. I take like my first sip of beer, I like do a keg stand, whatever, something stupid. I get home, I like stumble into my house. I'm like barely even buzzed. I go to bed and I hear my mom like panting back and forth. Like panting and freaking out, and my sister comes up and she's like, Stephanie, you need to get up. I'm like, when? She's like, and she starts like speaking to me in code, and she's like, Stephanie, tienes que levantarte de la cama, tú, mami de verdad que está en pánico. And she like gets up, like lifts me up, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, no, mom's coming back in the room. And she like throws me back into bed, so like throw the covers over my head, like try to pretend I'm going to sleep, and all of a sudden, as I'm like turned over, I feel this. I like jump out of bed, and my mom, no joke, pulls me out of my head. Mind you, my hair is probably like 4 inches longer than it is now. So my mom like pulls me out of my head, and it like streams across the room. Pulls me out of my bed, throws me on her phone, and says, Hija, de verdad que sos una hija de puta, de puta, de puta. Nunca imaginé que ibas a ser tan puta como sos. And I turn around and look at my mom, I'm like, what? What the fuck is going on? Mind you, this is all in my head. So I look at my mom, I'm like, so what are you talking about? And if you know me well enough, I'm the worst liar ever known to man. So as my mom pulls me out of bed with like 14 inches of hair, I look at her and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Mind you, I'm not saying this. This is all in my head. I'm like, pero ma, ¿de qué hablas? Porque de verdad que nunca hice nada. Subtitled. But mom, I never did anything. And then she turns to me and says, pero qué puta vida quiere decir un blowjob? Blowjob. And I said, oh shit, what the fuck? And I say, but what do you mean? Pero qué puta vida quiere decir un blowjob? And I say, bueno, mind you, I'm like 17 years old and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I going to respond to my mom? Bueno, no, es que tu hermana me explicó que quiere decir un blowjob y de verdad que no puedo imaginarme en el puto vida que estaría haciendo un hombre que no sea tu novio. So my mom pretty much pulls me aside, and if you don't understand what the hell I'm saying, my mom pretty much found out I gave a blowjob at the age of 17 for the first time. So at this point, I mean, what the hell do you say to your mom? My mom freaks out, this and that. Long story short, 2 days later, it's my 17th birthday. I'm thinking like, alright, I got caught. I explained to my mom, like, this is my first experience, like, what am I gonna do? So my friend comes over, it's my birthday, we blow out the candles, I had about like 4 or 5 friends over, and nonchalant, this and that. My mom goes to sleep because she's an early bird. She goes to sleep, my friend asks me, you wanna smoke pot? Well, I don't know, I'm not into that kind of thing. I don't really want to smoke pot. It's your birthday, dude. Like, you don't drink, you don't do anything, you don't do drugs. Like, the least I can do is maybe, like, smoke you out. Alright, cool. Walk to our car, jump the fence, because in the community that I lived in, there was about, like, a 5-foot, like, barricade, pretty much, that, like, jailbirds couldn't even get out of. So, but I managed. I learned how to jump over that thing, like, no biggie. So I jump over it. Alright, what are you going to smoke out of? No joints, no papers, no this and that. I mean, I only read up on it, so that's all I know. So, we have a Coke can. Alright, what do? Bend it in half. Alright, I mean, I'm not from the hood, but alright, cool. Bend it in half, poke a hole in it, put some pot in it. What the fuck do you do? So she hands me a lighter. We got the Coke can. Bend it in half. Smoke the thing. I'm like, alright, excuse me. Alright, we smoke the thing. I get so fucking stoned. This is the second time I was smoking pot. And I'm like, I can't walk into my house like this. So I walk into my house, no clear eyes. Again, second time I'm smoking pot. Walk into the house, fucking starving, like munchies like no other. So at that point, I kind of understand like why people smoke pot and they eat. Being like bulimic, fucking cancer patients, like I get it. I like just smoked out of a Coke can. I need to eat. I open the fridge. What's the first thing I see? Typical thing on my birthday. Carvel ice cream cake. I don't think twice. I pull it out, put it on the table. Cut a nice slice, roll it out, start taking a bite, and I'm like, damn, that crunchy, like, little piece, and everyone knows what I'm talking about, that crunchy piece of the Carvel, there's like no other. So, and everyone knows, you want that crunchy piece out of the Carvel. You don't want the fucking ice cream. You want that crunchy piece. So I'm like digging at the crunchy. I'm eating, and all of a sudden I look over my left corner, and my mom walks over and goes, ¿Qué estás haciendo? And at that point, if you know an Argentinian mother, you know this is like, in Reverend's words, real talk. So I look over and I'm like, nothing. I'm just eating the ice cream cake. My eyes are freaking bloodshot. Again, like the Coke can bloodshot. So I'm munching down. Mind you, I don't even, like a typical unsmoker, I'm still pounding on that Carvel cake. And I'm eating. She's like, pero hija, ¿qué estás haciendo? No me digas. Fumaste marijuana. I look up. Typical unknowingly stoner. What are you talking about? Mind you, the fucking Carvel ice cream cake is like full out in the open. I forgot to put it in the microwave, mind you. I don't want to heat it, but I forgot to put it in the refrigerator. So at that point, half a pound of Carvel ice cream cake. My slice, which like can feed a family of 5, is out there, and I'm pounding down, and like the crunchy's gone, the ice cream's like melting like across the table. I'm eating this whole damn thing, and my mom's telling me I'm pretty much a stoner, so she tells me again in Spanish, sos una falopera de mierda, which in Argentinian words means you are a stupid drug addict. So as I'm chowing down, I'm trying to put the ice cream cake in the refrigerator. refrigerator after the fact that my mom acknowledged me as being a stupid stoner. Second time smoking, again, to reiterate. Point, I realized there's nothing worse in the world than your mother realizing, A, it's the second time you smoke pot. B, she read your journal. And C, there's nothing worse in a true story than getting caught in the fucking most horrible, most experiencing things in your life than that. And that's my true story. True story.
This is True Story, Season 3.